welcome to the Art of Artisan. Today we are going to explore to play Black Banner. Heraldic Banner is an artifact that gives all of our creatures +1 power and can tap to add 1 black mana. So the goal with our deck is we're going to be playing a bunch of creatures with 1 power, playing Heraldic Banner to double them up, and also trying to play a lot of ramp synergies, so creatures that are cheap but we can sink mana into them. And so let's look at a couple of the things we're trying to do. First, we have Hateful Eidolon. Hateful Eidolon is useful because it draws us a bunch of cards and gives us a lot of ways to spend all the black mana we make off of Heraldic Banner because we're drawing so many cards. We've got Dead Weight, which is an aura that kills things. We've got Mire's Grasp, which is an aura that kills things. Mogus's Favor is an aura that kills things, or it can just help us with the aggressive side of our game plan. So it's a 4 of. And whenever a creature with any of these auras attached to them dies, we draw a card because of Hateful Eidolon. Our other small combo package is Archfiend's Vessel. If Archfiend's Vessel dies and we cast Malakir Rebirth on it, it comes back into play as a 5/5 demon. So we have Malakir Rebirth, which makes it so when it dies it comes back. Fake Your Own Death, exact same thing. Also, it gives it a power boost, which is useful because we're trying to be a bit aggressive with this deck. Lastly, we've just got some good aggressive creatures. Serrated Scorpion, when it dies, drains our opponent for 2. Dusk Legion Zealot draws us a card when it comes into play. Grim Wanderer, it's our only not 1-powered creature, but it's just a powerful beater and a good response if our opponent wraths our board. Kitesail Freebooter, remove our opponent's removal or answers to what we're doing while being a 1/2 with flying. The weird card in this deck is Whisper Squad. I didn't think this card was that good when I originally saw it in a deck list, but I played it myself and it was surprisingly effective with Heraldic Banner because it's 2 mana, make a 2/1 when you have this in play. So we usually just dump our mana into this and make a bunch of 2/1s. Sounds pretty weak, but it ends up being pretty good in practice. Sideboard, just a lot of answers to control. With our 1-power creatures, You Are Already Dead's pretty good. Some more removal with Gift of Fangs. If we need to go more aggressive, we've got Vampire Interloper, and once again, more answers to control. And that is Black Banner. It's a favorite deck of mine. I actually first made it in Ikoria. It was originally in Obosh the Prey Piercer deck. So if you know Obosh, you can only play odd mana costs, but it makes everything deal double damage. So it was really nice to have Heraldic Banner on turn 3, and then play Obosh on turn 4. So that was what was really cool about the deck. We're trying it without Obosh. We're trying it with a lot of 2-drops to give us a more powerful start off. So that's Black Banner. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get to the games. Game 1 with Black Banner, playing against Cedric. I feel like we've played against Cedric before. Hateful Eidolon and Mire's Grasp. We've got one of our combos. We've got Dusk Legion Zealot to draw. We will keep this hand. Opponent finally decides to make their first play. And we're going to lead out with Hateful Eidolon just because we have 2. Often we want to keep it a surprise. Our opponent might be scared to play creatures now because they know Hateful Eidolon plus removal enchantments is a common thing. A lot of people expect that. So they might be trying to remove Hateful Eidolon before they do anything. But where we have the backup, I think it's fine. Opponent just passes the turn. And that looks like they're scared of whatever we may be doing with Hateful Eidolon. It also appears that they are an expert in stalling the game. This is going to be a very heavily edited round. So you guys don't have to watch all this pain. Opponent finally decides to pass their turn. And we're going to Heraldic Banner. Hope our opponent's not playing white with that Aether Hub. Choose black. Swing in. An opponent has removal for the Eidolon. Okay. We're going to keep our clock up with a Serrated Scorpion. Zalfirin Void. What is our opponent up to? This looks like it could be Mono White Monument, Forsaken Monument. In which case I'm really glad we're not an Obosh deck, because if we were an Obosh deck, we would be blown out at this point already by, what's it called? Extinction Event. They're playing white, which is an interesting play for this. I'm going to crack the clue and cast Grim Wanderer this turn, potentially. So I'm going to hold up my mana. Plus, I don't want to run too hard into an Extinction Event if they are playing black as well. But it makes sense if they're mono white to still be running Aether Hub, because this can tap for white or for colorless, so it still triggers, well, it still gets the benefit off of Forsaken Monument. Another Hedron Archive. Opponent is ramping up to Ulamog, it would appear. And that scares me a little bit. Not that much. I think we can beat them before they get to Ulamog. Especially where they're playing white, I'm feeling safe from... I guess they could settle the wreckage us. Settle the wreckage would be brutal. Heraldic Banner, that turns us into a 2-turn clock. Yep. On black. Swing in. Swing in with everything, I think. It's a little bit risky. I'm expecting to get settled here. Okay, Fateful Absence. Sweet. Next to damage. And we'll cast Grim Wanderer here. And, you know, yeah, we'll call it that good. I'm expecting from them more exile-based removal, so Ugin. Yeah, Ugin's good. Ugin's gonna make our life very difficult. But yeah, opponent can make a blocker every turn. That's more than we can get. Getting in. An opponent wins with Forsaken Monument. Alrighty, on to game number 2. Game 2. Accidentally didn't start the recording. Against Ghastly Goober. And I think we keep this just off of Dusk Legion Zealot. A little bit risky, but I think it should be fine. We'll probably chump block with one eventually. And be able to cast Grim Wanderer on our opponent's turn at their end step. Hateful Eidolon into Mogus's favor. Fantastic little combo. Especially if our opponent's just full-on mono black sack. Crashing in for 1. Passes the turn. I think we just, yeah. Hateful Eidolon. Opponent has something at instant speed. Perhaps a Deadly Dispute. Deadly Dispute makes sense, in which case I'm probably just going to run out the Dusk Legion Zealot. Don't want to waste Mogus's favor on the Shambling Ghast when it's going to die anyways, and not draw me a card. Dead weight, okay. Yeah, we need our opponent to tap down before we start casting our removal. And I was correct. Deadly Dispute on the Shambling Ghast. They make a treasure. They don't remove one of our creatures. Interesting. So it looks like they're a ramp deck, like Sacrifice, but ramping into something. Something big and dangerous. That scares me. Heraldic Banner is a good draw. Heraldic Banner on black. And we'll cast Serrated Scorpion. We could cast Mogus's Favor on our Hateful Eidolon, but seeing how they have Shambling Ghast, I'm a little bit scared to get our Eidolon down to 1 toughness. Maybe it's the right call, though. I mean, if our opponent Meathook massacres us, then we'll regret not getting the card draw off. And we'll also regret not having Grim Wanderer ready. Is this the Meathook? Meathook probably wins our opponent the game here. Should have played around it. Dang it. Yep. Gains our opponent more life than we take with the Scorpion. Yeah, that card is stupid good. Ugh. The opponent's turn. And I think we lose unless they play creatures. But we don't even get card draw off their creatures anymore. Okay, Skullport. We can spend 3 cards to remove that. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait 1 more turn. It's really not worth removing the Skullport Merchant, even though it's a bunch of card draw for our opponent. Grim Tutor, what? Dang it, we're not even losing against a good deck. We're losing against somebody's favorite brew. Alright, Dusk Legion Zealot, that's good. Dusk Legion Zealot draws us a card. Mire's Grasp. We're still going to hold off for a second. We're going to force our opponent to actually start threatening us before we start destroying all their creatures. And if we can draw a Hateful Eidolon, then Hateful Eidolon into like Deadweight Mogus's Favor. Mogus's Favor is going to be 3 cards drawn for us, and the Mogus's Favors can be escaped. Skullport Merchant, of course. Underworld Dreams. Okay. We are now on a clock, and that hurts our Hateful Eidolon plan. Not good. Not in good. Okay, we're gonna have to do this. Deadweight on that. Mire's Grasp on this. Now we can start swinging in. Safely. Opponent blocks. They're going to sack it with the Skullport Merchant or just take it and lose their creature. Fake your own death. Okay. Okay. That's a card in our deck. Resolve, 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 yada yada. And we'll cast this. We're probably dead at this point. Fake your own death. Who plays that card? Grim Tutor again. Yeah, just a tip. Don't play Grim Tutor, people. Unless you're a combo deck, which our opponent is pretty clearly not a combo deck. Oh, they are a combo deck. Peer into the Abyss. Boop. Triggers that a gazillion times. Alright, they're a combo deck. I can respect it. And now that makes sense why they were going heavy on the ramp. Game number 3 versus Elfior. And we've got a good hand. We've got Heraldic Banner, we've got cheap creatures, we've got the mana. We've got a bad opponent, dang it. Oh, Eater of Virtue. Okay, they might be some sort of equipment sort of thing. I think we run an Archfiend's Vessel first. Archfiend's Vessel lets us gain a bit of life before our opponent gets down blockers, maybe? It does. We will Kite Sail Freebooter, check our opponent's hand for non-creature spells before they get rid of them all. Meteor Swarm. Okay. Yeah, Meteor Swarm. That's a card you don't see that often. 5 mana, deal 4 damage to 2 things, sort of thing. Wow, okay. What is this foretold? Like, I don't know what our opponent's up to. Demon Bolt, okay. They want their Meteor Swarm back. Well, we will just answer that with Heraldic Banner on black into Serrated Scorpion. Swing in with the Archfiend's Vessel. And we are in trouble. Like normal. Arnie Broken Brow. Is this equipped for 1? Yeah. Okay, they're swinging in for 5. That's actually good for us. We hope they swing in because we can race. We are good at racing. Dusk Legion Zealot. Into Dusk Legion Zealot. Into Mogus's Favor. Swing in. Pass to the opponent. Opponent plays a Coom Hellhound. Okay, so this is just someone's... I made my own mono-red list. It's a little bit unfocused, IMO, but I think... Yeah, we've got them. We've got them very soon. So Arnie Broken Brow can freely block. So we're going to swing in with Serrated Scorpion. Opponent chooses to block it. Now we get to cast Mogus's Favor on the Coom Hellhound, exiling 2 things. And then we're just going to cast out our hand. We finally get to see Whisper Squad. Pass to the opponent. And this is probably the turn that Goldspan Dragon comes down. But they can't even attack with it, or else they're facing lethal. Yeah, they're in trouble. We've got lethal on board currently. They need another blocker or to cast Meteor Swarm as a removal spell. Meteor Swarm just to kill an Archfiend's Vessel. Yeah, not the best card. Ooh. Speaking of good cards, though. Alright. We're going to pass the turn. Yeah, we can safely pass. Then we're going to make a bunch of Whisper Squads on our opponent's turn. And then Fake Your Own Death can be surprise extra damage on anything they don't block. And I think we're clear. I think we're in the clear. We've got swing in with Goldspan. Yes. Okay. That deals damage. They're gonna re-equip Eater of Virtue, maybe? Okay, Whisper Squad finds Whisper Squad. And then Whisper Squad finds Whisper Squad. Oh, could we have cast Grim Wanderer? Oops. Oops, if yes. Now I've got 6 attackers, they've got 2 blockers, 4 get through, that's 8 damage, plus 2 from Fake Your Own Death. They lose everything. We Fake Our Own Death on a Whisper Squad. And that's lethal. Woohoo! Alrighty. That was a good game 3. Let's get to game 4. Game 4 versus Hibasa. And this is a good hand. This is a good hand if our opponent's like aggro. We hope for the opponent to be aggro. And this should just completely hose them. We've got life gain, removal, removal, card draw, and a chump blocker. Okay, white-black doesn't look super like what we want it to be seeing. Hopefully this is not just a control matchup. Heraldic Banner's good, though. Oh, no. No, we needed an opponent who wasn't going to be not playing creatures. We need our opponent to play creatures, please. Sedgemoor Witch. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Hateful Eidolon. Deadweight. We will pay the ward. We are happy to pay the ward because our opponent is not pressuring our life total at all. We get to draw a card. It's a good card. We'll cast it. Mogus's Favor. We'll play that on the Serrated Scorpion. Now if our opponent removes our board, we still draw a card off of it. Opponent does have a lot of creatures, but I wouldn't expect them to be a sweeper deck, considering they're playing Sedgemoor Witch. Callous Blood Mage. Okay, they make a pest. That's good for them. Yeah, we're just gonna remove the Callous Blood Mage. Hope we draw into like Mogus's Favor. Oh my goodness. If we draw one, oh no, we've got lethal. This is game. That's literally game. Mogus's Favor on the Hateful Eidolon. Exile our 2 deadweights. Oh, our opponent gained 1 life off the pest. 1 life off the pest. Okay. But we've got Serrated Scorpion in hand. We've got one on the board. So our opponent can't wrath our board on their turn, even with Meathook Massacre, because our trigger will go on the stack last, and it will drain them for 2 life before they gain any life off Meathook. Sedgemoor Witch, fine. Hunt for Specimens, also fine. Yeah, they're dead. That's not enough blockers. Swinging with 4. And there we go. Oh, why are they... Okay, opponent. I like it. Hating on the Hateful Eidolon, because it definitely was the MVP of this game. Hateful Eidolon ruins any, like, low toughness creature deck. It just turns all your removal into 2-for-1s, and that's just impossible to keep up with. And after a well-seasoned rope, our opponent finally decides on blockers. And that's the game. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, 2-2. Can we get the winning record? Let's get to game 5. And let's see. Game 5 for the winning record versus Ava 1285. And this hand is pretty medium, but it does have Whisper Squad, which means we at least won't run out of things to do. It's got combo pieces for 8 of the cards in our deck. So there's 12 good draws in our deck. Is that enough? Perhaps. We'll see. Okay, Whisper Squad first. And alright, we're hopefully not going to flood out too hard here. And turn. Green. Courier's Briefcase. So this is Transmogrify. Oh, it's Transmogrify. Our opponent's going to be stealing our lands with Agent of Treachery. Alright, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble now. Shoot, yeah. Can only do this. Mire's Grasp. Keep creatures off the board, otherwise they could have Transmogrified that next turn. And we don't have Heraldic Banner, so our clock is super slow. We now have no reason to want to draw Hateful Eidolon. Our opponent's not going to be trying to remove anything, so Fake Your Own Death is not a very good option. Fire Prophecy, okay. That is one upside to playing Whisper Squad and a bunch of derpy creatures is your opponent's removal sucks. Like, really bad. Paying 2 mana to kill our thing that can make a copy of itself for 2 mana. That's just net very little for the opponent when we're the beatdown. They may have been desperate for a land drop, though. Or for a way to create a creature token. There's Archfiend's Vessel. That's what we like to see. What do they have for 1 mana? We have yet to see Archfiend's Vessel go off, so like we just haven't been running into any. Like I feel like our opponent's decks just have not been lining up well for our deck. Been a little bit disappointing. Like nobody playing just a generic mid-range or anything like that deck. That's good for our opponent. We will do pretty much whatever it takes to remove that, including Fake Your Own Death on whatever it blocks this next turn, if it does block. We just cannot afford Agent of Treachery to hit the battlefield. I mean, like, we're a deck that doesn't care as much about Agent of Treachery as other decks, but it's still just, I win the game in most cases. Okay. We have a cool combo here. I'm not sure if it's worth it, but we'll see if our opponent blocks anything. Swinging in, swinging in. Yes. Okay. That's fine. You get Mogus's Favored. This like Snakeskin Veil. Removal on Whisper Squad. Voltage Surge on the Whisper Squad. We will activate its ability right now. Make another Whisper Squad. Oh, I think Whisper Squad is just a fun card. I don't know why. It just works so well in some ways. I wish I could grab from the graveyard too, but that would have been absolutely busted and limited. Like, it's already in. For a common, I think people should be playing this in Pauper. Like, no joke, it's a great Pauper card. Opponent, you're just giving us fodder for our Mogus's Favor. Mogus's Favor is going to shut this deck down. Like, what are they going to do against Mogus's Favor? They have to get their 2/2 creatures, but they don't have enough of, like, Fable of the Mirror Breaker is like their only one. Oh, sweet, we also get Heraldic Banner. Heraldic Banner on black. black. Mogus's Favor on your creature. Exiling 2 Whisper Squads. They have done their work. Or better yet, Whisper Squad should just be pay 2, conjure a Whisper Squad onto the battlefield. Opponent loses their creature yet again. We now have things that can just rock through this Kiki Jiki. They're probably going to have to just block with it. Block and trade. Unless they can Transmogrify it. Shoot. Transmogrify. I forgot they could do that. Titan of Industry. Destroys our artifact, creates a rhino. Let's cycle this. Let's cycle this. Hateful Eidolon. Woohoo. And we lose. Yeah, we're dead. Kiki Jiki. Kiki Jiki. Well, it was a good run. Let's get to the deck wrap up. Well, we went 2-3. That being said, I think the deck is better than a 2-3. I think it's more of a 3-2. Mostly because I felt like what we were running into were just not good matchups. We didn't see any situations where our Archfiend's Vessel life gain mattered, where we could just swing in with it and our opponent was scared to block it. That happens in a lot of games with this deck. We didn't get to see really... We saw a couple games where Hateful Eidolon pulled off a little bit of work, but we didn't get to really see one where it was owning the game. Like, if we had a Hateful Eidolon in Game 5, I think we might have won that. We might have had a way to answer the Kiki Jiki. Actually, we don't have a way to answer Kiki Jiki, but we might have been able to be fast enough. But yeah, I think the deck is pretty good as is, but there are some definite upgrades. First of all, Demonic Embrace. This is just a good card in this deck. It fits with the Hateful Eidolon plan. It's a very aggressive enchantment to enchant our cheap creatures with good abilities. So like we take our Grim Wanderer and turn it into a 5/4, not 5/4, an 8/4 with flying. That's pretty good. Serrated Scorpion turns into a 4/3. Hateful Eidolon. Like, we've just got a bunch of creatures that just need a bit more attack to make the aggressive side of this better. So it's kind of a backup Heraldic Banner in a way. And I do recommend you try out the Obosh version of this deck. You'd have to cut out the Fake Your Own Deaths. You'd cut out Dusk Legion Zealot, Grim Wanderer, Kite Sylph Rebooter, Mire's Grasp. You'd go up some dead weights. But you'd also run some Oboshes in the main deck. And you just try and build this deck to be as aggressive of a deck that only has odd creature cost as you can, with probably 2 Oboshes in the deck, 1 in the sideboard, and 4 copies of Heraldic Banner. And that would be Obosh Banner, and it's such a fun deck. But that was Black Banner. I was happy with how the deck turned out, and I don't think there's much else to say. Like, overperformers, underperformers, Mogus's Favor did exactly what we would hope it to do. It won games on our creatures. It almost won a game on our opponent's creatures. Whisper Squad did what I hoped it would. Like, it ended up winning game 4 for us, I believe, just having a bunch of 2/1s that it kept summoning out of nowhere. It's a good mana sink when we have extra mana from Heraldic Banner. And Heraldic Banner itself did pretty fantastic. I like this card a lot. I might do a video later of like a white banner. I've already played it in the Oketra's Monument deck. It's just a good card in general. And with that, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Have a great weekend, and keep enjoying Budget Magic.